Euro currency rallied after yesterday's FOMC meeting, getting all the way back up to 106. But today we saw that reversal. We saw it move lower. We saw it trade back below 106. Then we saw it trade back below 105, something it hasn't done since last week. It neared the 5-year low that was put in last week, but didn't quite get there and ended the session back above 105 just barely. So ultimately, we continue to see this, the euro currency, which has started the year off around 114, traded lower most of the year. Now we're on the lows of the year. And let's take a step back. Last time the dollar and the euro traded at parity, you got to go all the way back to late 2002. So while we're not quite there yet, you can see the movement in the euro. And a lot of this is based on the fact that while the Federal Reserve has been active in raising rates, we saw that yesterday, the UK the same way, the Bank of England has been raising rates. The European Central Bank has not been doing that. At their last meeting in April, they left us with some hope that they would be raising rates in the near term, possibly by the end of 2022. And headlines today say they may want to step that up a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how the ECB reacts. Clearly, the euro has been moving lower as other central banks have been raising their rates. The ECB has not, and one of the reasons why we continue to see the euro moving lower. Now, what does this mean for volatility? Well, if you check out that CVOL index over at cmegroup.com, you will notice that volatility has been moving sideways, even trending a little bit lower as of late. But as we move back towards those lows, back below 105, we saw volatility moving higher ever so slightly today. It'll be interesting to see if that continues tomorrow, if we continue to push lower. So it becomes very directional. As prices move lower, we see volatility move higher. That has been the trend over the last few months. Lastly, let's talk about positioning. What are the speculators doing? Well, as of mid last week, when last report came in from the CFTC, we saw speculators exiting their longs. So they were exiting longs after the ECB meeting and well ahead of the Fed meeting that we saw yesterday, preparing for what was likely to happen and did happen. That's the euro went lower as the dollar went higher and was stronger, given the fact that the Fed has raised rates and the ECB still has not. So the euro currency heading into Friday's non-farm payroll in the U.S., seeing it move lower back below 105 briefly today before moving back above it. And we don't have another ECB meeting till June, but there is some messaging out there, and we did see some headlines that they will be talking about raising rates sooner rather than later.